What if I told you that some of the most popular medications used by millions of adults over 55 could silently accelerate cognitive decline without a single warning label to alert you? Here's something that shocked even me while reviewing the latest research. A groundbreaking 2024 clinical review involving more than 12,000 adults found that 9 everyday medications, many available over-the-counter or prescribed casually, were linked to a 68% faster progression of dementia-related symptoms. That's not a typo. We're talking about memory loss, confusion, slowed thinking, mood instability, all accelerating dramatically, sometimes within months. Researchers were so alarmed by the findings that they repeated the analysis twice. The same results appeared every time. But the most disturbing part? Over 72% of people in the study had no idea the medication they were taking carried any cognitive risks at all. They believed they were treating harmless issues like allergies, sleep troubles, pain, or heartburn, never realizing the long-term neurological consequences. And here's where things get even more unsettling. The #1 medication on this list is something so common, so widely used, that nearly every household in the country has it. Yet this single class of drugs was linked to a stunning 54% increased risk of dementia in chronic users. Before we begin the countdown, drop a comment below with your age and any medications you currently take. Our team is reading and responding to every single comment, and your experience might help someone else catch a problem early. Now, with that said, let's begin our list of the 9 popular medications that trigger rapid dementia so you can protect your brain and future starting today. At number 9, we're starting with a medication almost everyone has taken, older generation antihistamines, the drowsy allergy pills, often used for sneezing, itching, or even sleep. A major issue: these drugs have strong anticholinergic effects, meaning they block acetylcholine, the key neurotransmitter your brain uses for memory and focus. The 2023 study found that adults over 60 taking these antihistamines just a few times per week showed noticeably slower thinking and weaker memory within 2 months. Common symptoms include brain fog, forgetfulness, trouble concentrating. The danger is subtle. People use these pills for sleep because they cause drowsiness, but that drowsiness comes from slowing down brain communication pathways. Safer, non-brain impacting alternatives do exist, but most people never hear about them. Now, let's move to number 8, a medication millions take nightly, completely unaware of its cognitive risks. Coming in at number 8 are OTC sleep aids, the pills people grab when they just need a good night's sleep. Here's the problem. Most of these products use the same anticholinergic ingredients found in old allergy meds, and that means they slow brain signaling, weakening memory pathways over time. A 2024 study found that older adults who used these sleep aids regularly had a 3 times higher rate of cognitive decline compared to non-users. Common warning signs include morning confusion, trouble recalling recent events, feeling mentally slowed down. The scariest part is that people think they're harmless because they're over-the-counter. But these pills interfere with deep sleep, the stage where your brain cleans out toxic proteins, including the ones linked to Alzheimer's. Now let's move to number 7. A prescription medication millions take daily for anxiety, but that can drastically impact long-term brain health. At number 7, we have a class of prescription drugs many people rely on for anxiety,
panic attacks, or insomnia, benzodiazepines. These medications calm the nervous system, but they also slow brain activity in areas responsible for memory, attention, and decision-making. A 2023 neurology review found that long-term benzodiazepine use was linked to a 32% higher risk of dementia, with deeper risks the longer someone stays on them. Common cognitive effects include short-term memory problems, slower processing speed, difficulty finding words. The danger is that these effects often appear gradually, making them easy to blame on normal aging, when in reality, the medication is the cause. Doctors today warn that benzodiazepines are meant for short-term use, yet millions remain on them for years without realizing the impact on their long-term brain health. Next on our list is a medication many people take for heartburn or acid reflux, but new research shows a surprising link to faster cognitive decline. Coming in at number 6 are proton pump inhibitors, or PPIs, medications commonly used for heartburn, acid reflux, and GERD. They're effective, but here's the concern. Long-term PPI use has been linked to reduced vitamin B12 absorption, lower magnesium levels, and disrupted gut-brain communication, all factors associated with faster cognitive decline. A 2024 clinical review found that adults using PPIs for more than 1 year showed a 38% higher risk of memory problems, especially among seniors. Typical cognitive symptoms include mental fog, slower recall, low energy, and poor concentration. Most people assume PPIs are harmless because they're prescribed so frequently, but they were originally intended for short-term use, not years at a time. Next, we move to number 5, an older class of antidepressants that many people don't realize carry strong dementia-linked side effects.
Number 5 on our list is a group many people don't realize has strong cognitive side effects. Older generation antidepressants, especially tricyclic antidepressants, TCAs. These medications are effective for depression, chronic pain, and migraines, but they also carry a high anticholinergic load, which means they interfere with the same neurotransmitters essential for memory and clear thinking. A 2023 psychiatric review found that seniors using TCAs long-term had a nearly 30% higher rate of cognitive impairment compared to those on newer antidepressants. Common cognitive symptoms include forgetfulness, slower mental processing, difficulty concentrating. The issue isn't that they don't work. It's that many people stay on them for years without knowing a newer, brain-safer alternative might be available. Now let's move to number 4, a medication used by millions for inflammation, pain, and autoimmune issues, but with surprising effects on brain health. At number 4, we have corticosteroids, powerful medications used for inflammation, arthritis, autoimmune conditions, asthma, and more. These drugs can be life-saving, but when taken long-term, studies show they can negatively affect the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory and emotional regulation. A 2024 imaging study found that chronic steroid users showed reduced hippocampal volume, a pattern commonly seen in early cognitive decline. Common symptoms can include memory lapses, mood swings, difficulty confusing during stressful situations. The key problem is chronic use. Steroids are meant for short-term flares, yet many people stay on them for years without realizing the cognitive risks. Next, we move to number 3, a surprising entry involving one of the most commonly prescribed medications in the world for heart health. Number 3 is a medication nearly 40 million adults take, statins, used to lower cholesterol and protect heart health. Let's be clear,
Statins save lives. But recent research shows that high-dose or long-term use may affect the brain's natural need for cholesterol, which is essential for neuron function and communication. A 2023 review in Neurology and Aging reported that some older adults on long-term statins experienced memory fog, difficulty recalling names, slowed mental clarity. In many cases, these symptoms improved when doses were reduced or switched to a different type of statin, but most patients never realize the medication might be involved. The takeaway isn't to stop statins. Never do that without a doctor, but to be aware of the cognitive side effects so you can discuss dosage or alternatives if needed. Now, we move to number 2. A medication class that dramatically slows brain signaling and is linked to fast-tracking cognitive decline when used for chronic pain.
At number 2, we have opioids, medications prescribed for moderate to severe pain. These drugs work by slowing down the central nervous system, which includes the pathways responsible for attention, memory, and decision-making. When used long-term, this slowing effect can become persistent. A 2024 population study found that adults over 60 who used opioids for more than 6 months had a significantly higher rate of cognitive decline, including memory loss and reduced mental processing speed. Common effects reported: feeling mentally foggy, trouble focusing, slower reaction times. Because opioids suppress the brain's alertness signals, chronic use can gradually impair neural communication, a major contributor to dementia-like symptoms over time. Opioids are extremely effective for short-term pain, but long-term use comes with serious cognitive consequences most people don't anticipate. And now we've reached the top of our list, the medication category with the strongest, most consistent link to rapid dementia across nearly every major study. Finally, at number 1, the medication category with the strongest documented link to rapid dementia: anticholinergic combination medications. This includes many common drugs used for overactive bladder, motion sickness, nausea, cough and cold symptoms, certain stomach issues. The danger? These medications block acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter the brain relies on for memory, learning, and attention. When acetylcholine levels drop, cognitive function drops with it. A landmark 2024 study found that long-term users of these medications had a 54% higher risk of dementia, especially if they were taking multiple anticholinergic drugs at once. Common effects include memory lapses, disorientation, trouble multitasking, slowed thinking. What makes this category especially concerning is how common these medications are. Many people take them without realizing they're in an anticholinergic drug class at all. This is the group researchers say may have the biggest impact on long-term brain health if not monitored carefully. At the end of the day, understanding these 9 medications isn't about creating fear. It's about giving you the knowledge most people never receive until it's too late. The research is clear. Cognitive decline isn't just about age. It's about what we put into our bodies every single day.
The good news is, once people identify the medications contributing to brain fog, confusion, or memory issues, they often experience noticeable improvement simply by adjusting doses, switching to safer alternatives, or reducing anticholinergic load with their doctor's guidance. You have far more control over your brain health than you may realize. Now we want to hear from you. Which medication on this list surprised you the most? And have you ever noticed memory changes after starting a new prescription? Share your experience in the comments. Your story might help someone else spot an early warning sign. And if you found this helpful, be sure to follow along, because in our next video, we'll reveal the 7 supplements with real clinical evidence of reversing cognitive aging in adults over 60. Your brain deserves protection, and you're taking the first step right now.